Hi everyone, Stacy Marino here from iAdvise College Recruiting. Today I would like to discuss the MO of recruiting, why consistency beats motivation. Okay, so MO stands for modus operandi, and that refers to a person's usual way of doing things, their daily habits. MO is often used in law, psychology, and strategy. Strategy is what is the point I would like to drive home today. So I believe that daily habits and systems will bring forth success in recruiting. What tends to not work is short lived motivation because motivation can fade. And when you have a system in place, that keeps you on track. So here at iAdvise, we've established a system that works. We guide and encourage our clients to maintain habits that they need to create more recruiting opportunities. So I want to take a look at a student athlete's lifestyle and break it down a little bit between three categories: academics, athletics, and recruiting tasks, and just compare a little bit what consistency looks like versus bursts of motivation. So this slide here, we talk about academics and what consistent effort within the realm of academics looks like. So first off, being organized for the entire school year, studying every day, planning ahead. That is what a consistent student does. Producing quality work in all classes, not just your favorite ones, and proactively communicating with teachers and advisors. That is academic consistency. When you have those daily habits, you tend to do a little bit better at school. Bursts of motivation might look like this: starting really well early in the school year, but then the effort wanes. Not having a plan, procrastinating, and then cramming. Only working hard for certain teachers or in certain subjects. Contacting teachers only after there's a problem, and maybe working harder if there's an external reward. So those are some of the things that, like, an athlete or a student athlete, if they're relying on bursts of motivation, that's what that might look like. So you want to be a student athlete that has strong habits, because those will lead to strong grades and help prevent maybe that low one that can really impact your GPA. Next, I want to talk about athletic and training consistency and what that looks like. So when you are consistent, you are giving 100% effort each practice, every day, every competition or game. It doesn't matter what's going on, you're always giving 100% effort. Um, an athlete that puts in extra strength and agility training year round, that is showing training consistency. Um, Constant effort to improve your athleticism, maintaining records of measurable stats, an athlete that's fundamentally sound with solid technical foundation. This is very, very important. Your basics, your fundamentals, your technique must be really, really good in order to get recruited. Coaches can see right through that. So that comes with training consistency. Always being coachable. An athlete should strive to every day show up and be able to be coached, take criticism, learn, make corrections. That's very important. An athlete's behavior and effort level should remain constant regardless of external factors such as who's watching, who's coaching, the time of the season, etc. It should be a very consistent, you show up every single day, giving 100% of your efforts. So consistent good habits lead to better performances, and college coaches know this. Okay, so now I want to talk about what it looks like when an athlete uses bursts of motivation within their training and in their athletics. So the first one I want to mention is when you see athletes showing greater effort during games or competitions than they show during just regular practice. They're more motivated to work hard because it's an actual game or competition. So that is when you see that's a burst of motivation right there. Um, Another one is when you see an athlete where their effort depends on external factors such as who's present, who's watching, the time of the season. Maybe they work harder in the postseason than during the regular season, or harder during season than in the off season. So additional training when only when it's convenient. That's another one where the athlete only visits the weight room during the off season, but when things get busy, they no longer go and do extra lifting. Or they only do extra when they feel that they might need to catch up. They look around and they see, oh, I feel a little behind. Now I'm going to work hard. I'm going to catch up. An athlete that might have holes in their fundamentals or in their technique likely trains with bursts of motivation and might lack consistent habits. And then finally, an athlete's coachability, if that depends on external factors, that could be an athlete that relies on bursts of motivation. So motivation isn't a bad thing. Motivation can get you started, but it won't take you where those consistent, good, solid habits and systems can. That's when you can reach elite performance, when you rely on good habits and systems. So the final factor that I want to discuss today is recruiting. And a student athlete must engage in recruiting tasks in order to make an impact and get noticed by college coaches. So here's several things that a recruit that's working consistently, that they consistently do. So a recruit needs to track their progress. So if they're consistently tracking progress year round, that's a really positive, good habit. Providing video and film year round, in and out of season. That's another very strong habit. Maintaining productive social media. Social media is very important to recruiting these days, so that also needs to be consistent and a strong habit. Creating and maintaining a realistic target list. So the list can be fluid, so you do have to work at maintaining this list. Also, maintaining communication with college coaches, depending on how old the student athlete is, where they're at in their recruiting. This can look like many different things. However, constant communication is key. Asking the correct questions at the correct times, being persistent and patient, and so much more. So college coaches are evaluating a huge, very competitive pool of athletes for a limited number of spots. So in order to stand out, recruits need to stay consistent and proactive in their recruiting efforts. Okay, so recruits that rely on bursts of motivation. Here we go. So again, motivation is not a bad thing. Motivation can definitely get you going. However, we're looking for consistency. So bursts of motivation may look like when you track progress only when it's prompted or convenient. When a recruit provides video only when prompted or convenient, or only when they do something really great. Same thing with social media. If they only post after big moments, there's a lot of moments in front of that big moment that can be captured and shared and used to help move your recruiting along. Again, communicating with college coaches only when convenient or easy. And basically, when you rely on bursts of motivation, the result are flurries of activity, and sometimes that can be followed by lulls of activity, and that's the downside. So recruits who show inconsistent recruiting habits can appear less committed and less motivated compared to those who consistently put in the work, and college coaches definitely do notice this. Okay, to wrap up, the MO of recruiting, why consistency beats motivation. Here are my final thoughts. So I encourage you, if you're a student athlete or a recruit, to ask yourself, what's your MO? Take an honest look at your actions and evaluate if you're doing everything you can, or is there room to step it up? Remember that strong habits aren't flashy, they're disciplined, routine, and reliable. It's kind of boring, which is good. When consistency is the standard, it creates a system that will keep your academics, your training, and your recruitment on track. So success is not random. It's built through systems that drive consistent productivity. So here at iAdvise College Recruiting, we build consistency into your process. We create momentum, driving recruiting forward and delivering results. If you are at all interested, please visit my website and fill out a interest form, and an advisor will reach out to you right away. So hopefully this information was helpful to you.